Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is Fantasy Week 8 recap. Let's get right into it, why don't we? I'm joined this evening by Dominic and Ben Lehman, aka the commish. Fellas, go ahead and introduce yourself before I hop into the recap.
Good evening. Pleasure to be here.
How's everybody doing today?
Alrighty. Now let's get right into my notes. This is going to be a good episode for you guys. Can you guys still see me on the camera, Dom and Ben?
Yes, I can.
All right. Diving right into this week. Actually, I believe it's week 7, so pardon me. Let's get right into it. Team of the week for week 7. This week's team of the week goes out to the Papi Carlitos Chulos as they put up an astonishing 149 points in week 7. This team was absolutely explosive, led by A.J. Brown as he put up 27 points in the Flexington position. What a performance. This team is beginning to gain some serious momentum and is definitely a team to keep your eyes on. Moving on, we got the team of the week. Sorry to see him goes out to the Bay Area Bullrats. Anyway, game of the week. This week's game of the week matchup. Now, this was a good one. Hope you guys were staying tuned to this one because it went down to the very end. It goes out to the Calabasas Goons and Calvin Midley. Game of the week, week 7. Midley was able to outscore the Goons by 4.2 points and was able to tally up just another dub. Calvin is in fact mid as he was only able to put up 12.6 points this week, but the team got the win regardless. Moving on. This one is also for the Calvin Midley crew as the player of the week for week 7 goes out to Cooper Kupp. And he earned himself yet another player of the week. He put up 37.6 fantasy points this week in his matchup against the Lions. I mean, this man is on fire. In my opinion, Kupp is the steal of the draft. Hard to argue against that as he is the number 1 wide receiver and averaging 27.2 points through week 7. Moving on, we got the bust of the week. This week's bust of the week may be a surprise to some of you. Might be a controversial topic, but hang in there with me. I awarded this week's bust of the week to who? The Baltimore Ravens defense and special teams. Baltimore's defense posted negative 6 points in their matchup against the Bengals. They really did not do Brad any favors. This was a close matchup for him against the Chulos, and scoring negative 6 points just was not a good look for Brad's team. Moving on, staying with Brad's team as a topic, we got the waiver wire pickup of the week. Uncle Zay called it earlier in the week, folks. Uncle Zay called it. This week's waiver wire pickup of the week goes out to Dearness Johnson for the Browns. Brad was able to snag Dearness Johnson off waivers earlier in the week. He anticipated a big game for the young fella, and in Johnson's first career NFL start, he was able to rush for 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 receptions for 22 yards, and accumulated 24.8 points in his Thursday night showdown against the Broncos. Moving on to one of our last topics, we got the benched boomer. And this week's benched boomer goes to Ohio State alum Terry McLaurin, a.k.a. Scary Terry. It is October, yet that was not enough for Terry to earn a spot in this week's spooky game for Jason Lovepog. Darius Slayton was started in place of Terry. Kind of a head-scratching move by Lovepog, but a bold strategy indeed, folks. Now, I would like to move on to the last topic that I have for you guys, that being the trade of the week. But apparently nobody reads my text messages. Nobody wants to send me feedback, so I have nothing to go off of for the trade of the week. I mean, I could tell you what I think about him, but you guys could probably care less. I didn't have any votes received, so maybe next week you guys can send me those votes. All right, moving on to the juicy part of the evening. Gentlemen, how are we?
Fantastic.
Great. Pleasure to be here.
All right. Pleasure to have you on as well. Let me just dive into the questions. Mr. Commish, if you don't mind, I'd like to start with you.
Of course.
All righty. It's just you and me now, buddy. I'll take a back seat on this one. All right. The first question that I got for you, Mr. Ben. What has surprised you the most this season?
I think I'll give two things. One is Cooper Kupp, of course. I mean, that man is just built different compared to the rest of the receivers. And fun fact, um, I believe it was Wiley who was before me in the draft, and I had my sights set dead on Robert Woods, and he snagged him just before me. And so I thought to myself, I'll settle for Kupp.
Mm. Definitely paid
But
off for you, wouldn't you say?
what can I say? And another, little stat of the week for you. We actually have three fathers in this fantasy league. We have Ryan, we have Tyler, and then Sunday I slept through the whole battle with Tyler, but I had Tyler calling me daddy by the end of the week. So three fathers, man. That'll be this stat of the week. But biggest surprise, I would say Cooper Kupp, of course.
Well, congratulations on being a father, Ben. That was definitely a big week for you. Moving on to the second question that I have for you. How do you feel about all these trades that have been vetoed? What is your thoughts? Just give me a couple thoughts on that.
Oh, do I have some thoughts? As a commissioner, I've been told by just so many people in this league that I need to say something, and I did want to say something, which is why I'm here today. And the only people who are saying, this league is rigged, or these trades are rigged, or the vetoing is rigged, are simply just losers. Losers, and I'll all caps capitalize that. When things don't work out the way you want them to, whether it's your fault or not, you don't just blame anything and everybody around you. There's a reason that vetoing trades is allowed. One, so that people can't sneak build super teams and scam people who don't know any better. And two, so that people who don't know any better can't get scammed without them knowing it. And I've taken from what Dom said, if two people trading agree, then it should go through. Both the parties agree, then it should go through. This is a league of 12 people, 12 teams, therefore 11 opponents for each individual. Some more or less knowledgeable at this stuff than others. And so what we're doing is regulating one another. If anything, it's the same as the games. You're trying to not have your opponent have the upper hand. And there's 12 people in the league. So look at the ones who are talking, look at the ones who aren't talking, because just because they're not talking doesn't mean that they're vetoing. And just because someone goes, I upheld, did they? Or is it a mind game that they're playing with you? I mean, come on.
All right, folks, you heard it here, folks. Death to the scammers and the naysayers. Ben is not tolerating that as league commissioner. All right, Ben, that was well said. You have something else?
I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
I've been on both sides of the ball with this whole vetoing thing. 2 years ago, I myself almost got scammed trading no one other than Zay. I was going to give him Chris Godwin for Jarvis Landry. Not knowing any better, that trade got vetoed, and I was very thankful that that trade got vetoed. And last year, I don't know if anybody in this league remembers, I tried trading scraps for Stephon Diggs off of Ryan, and that got vetoed. So I've been on both sides of the ball, but shit happens. Some trades go through, some trades don't. And another reason that we're able to veto is so that stupid shit that Caleb and Ryan try and pull, just selling each other their entire teams, doesn't happen because it's the gentleman's league.
That is well said. Ben is trying to regulate all this best as he can. You know, you just got to have faith in the league commissioner. Moving on to my next question, Ben. In your opinion, who are the top 3 teams in the league currently?
Evan. Wiley. Fuck. Who else is in the league? Hang on. I'm forgetting. Evan for sure. Evan's stacked. Debo Samuel's kind of a steal. Probably the Bay Area Bullrats, honestly.
Hey, well, good looking there, fam. All right, got one more question for you, Ben, before you head off to go take handle your commissioner business. I understand you are busy, but just one more question, if you don't mind. So you got a week 8 matchup coming up. Big game this week. You're off a win. It was an emotional game, to say the least. It was the closest game. It was the game of the week. You're probably drained. You and your players could use a bye week, but you're going through the gauntlet right now, okay? You're playing Jason Lovepog this week, and you are an underdog. Vegas has you as a 1-point underdog against Jason Lovepog. How do you feel? Is your team going to be ready?
I'm not worried at all. Maybe this week he'll bench Scary Terry. Also, Devontae Adams and Lazard are placed on the COVID-19 list, which even though they're playing one of the best defenses, Arizona, this week, that'll give Jones some more volume. So hopefully we get to see that. But as far as the matchup goes, got to be 2-0 for next couple of weeks, man. Let's go.
Alrighty, you heard it here, folks. Jason Lovepog, Ben is coming for you. He's not worried. He's got his feet kicked up, chilling in the hot tub right now. Anyway, we're moving on to the second guest of the evening. Hello, Dominic. How are you doing over there?
Hello. Great pleasure to be here once again.
What a beautiful chair you have there.
Thank you. My assistant just brought this in for me.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
Very classy with the fitted and the suit. Very, very nice, subtle look. All right. Now let's get into the juicy parts. This is what everybody's tuning in for. You ready for all this?
I am ready.
All right. First question I'm going to hit you with here, Dom.
Mm-hmm.
Who is currently the President of the United States?
It was Daniel Larson, but I won't speak much further on that because he recently got arrested for calling the cops on the White House. So I don't know if we can speak on that. So I will have to say next question, please.
Okay, no worries. Moving on to my next question. In your opinion, Dominic, why do you think all these trades are being vetoed?
I believe the trades are being vetoed because the other teams fear the teams that are acquiring the trades. Like Ben said, if 2 teams agree to the trade should go through. The only reason why they veto is because it poses a threat to their team. So they're just not confident in their teams, I think is the reason. Now, I understand if a Ryan and Caleb trade tries to get pulled off, that does need to be vetoed. But Zach Moss and the number 1 kicker for Scary Terry, that was not too bad of a trade.
Shut the fuck up, Dom.
Listen.
And the number 1 kicker.
Listen, the number 1 kicker.
Who he just scavenged off waivers.
That kicker had 14 points last week. That's more than most players had in other positions. And if a dude is not knowledgeable, no offense. This is for money. He deserves to be fleeced. It's a dog-eat-dog world. I'm not in this shit for fun, man. I'm trying to take the chip home.
That is true. You got to be competitive. You got to, you either take advantage of someone or you get taken advantage of. That is well said, Dominic.
Either fuck or you get fucked.
Ryan, if you're listening, just stop. Just stop trading. Don't trade.
He's got a trade advisor now. You guys see that?
Evan does not count as a fucking trade advisor. Another player in the league cannot be a trade advisor. If anything, call up, I don't fucking know, Sean Payton.
Yeah, very well said. All right, Dom. I've got just 2 more questions for you, big guy. My third question for you today. In your opinion, Dominic, who are the bottom 3 teams in the league currently?
The bottom 3 teams, no offense, I would have to say Unks in there. I might throw Zach in there. I might throw myself in there right now with injuries I have. I'm not going to lie.
Well, that sure does take some guts, man. You really got to humble yourself there. That is well said. Much respect. Moving on to my next question. Dominic, moving on to week 8, you know, it's going to be a big matchup. You got Josh this week. Even though he is the bottom of the conference guy, you can't sleep on him. We've seen his potential time in and time out. His team has put up more points, I think it was last week, than anybody's ever seen all season. So you cannot deny the upside that this guy brings to the table. This week 8 matchup has you favored by 15 points. How do you feel going into it?
Yeah, I've been saying Josh's team is very underrated. He has very high potential. This week, I do think I will cream in him, though. Devontae Adams is out. Mark Andrews out. Marquise Brown out. So a lot of his star players are out. So I do believe I take home the easy dub this week. But I will not be too cocky. I will remain humble, and I will remain confident.
All righty, gentlemen. Well said. It was a pleasure to have you guys on for this weekly recap. Is there any questions that you guys might have for me that I could answer?
Who do you think the top 3 teams are in the league at the moment?
That is a good question. Right now, I'm gonna have to go with Ben and roll with the Chulos. I think they have a lot of upside. But man, it's a competitive league. Like, this is wide open right now in my eyes. Like, even Josh's team, who has the worst record in the league, like, he still puts up the most points ever just a week or so ago. So like I said, this is wide open. But if I had to choose 3 currently, I would have to roll with the Chulos. I got to give respect to the Goons as well. And at that number 3 spot, man, honestly, I think it's a toss-up between Wiley and Ben, but I think that Ben's been a little bit more consistent on the season, so I would say Ben in the top 3 as well with the Goons and the Chulos. Well, all right, guys. If there's anything you guys want to see for the Week 9 weekly recap, please just text me individually. Your feedback only makes this better. I like doing this for you guys. I take time out of my day, but I like to do it. I think this makes fantasy a little bit more fun for me and the rest of the league. So I would love to continue this. If you guys have any ideas of what you want to see on the weekly recap, maybe what you don't want to see, feel free to call me. Actually, that just reminded me of something. I've got some notes here. I got a text from a unanimous GM in the league, and he did have something that he wanted to mention for this week's weekly recap. Let me just pull that up. All right. It seems that these questions are directed towards Mr. Ruffin for this. And he's got 2 questions. And again, I will not name the source of this ramble, I should say. I will keep his identity confidential. Okay, his first question for you is, what surprised him the most about his opponent's team? And I don't know who you played this week. Maybe it was, let's see who you just played. But they asked how you felt about your matchup.
Surely that's not his opponent asking that question.
Oh, it was Jason Lovepog, who you just played. He said, what surprised him the most about his opponent's team? So I guess he's referring to what surprised you the most about Jason Lovepog's team as he stomped you in week 7.
Nothing really surprised me. Let's be honest, the team's coon meat. I just have none of my players in. If I had even half my starters in, he literally gets creamed in. I had a fucking waiver ass wide receiver I picked up, but he didn't get targeted once. Don't know why he has a contract anymore. I will save my racist marks for a different time. And yeah, if he meets me later in playoffs, if he makes it, if I make it, and my team is healthy, he will feel my wrath. Mark my words.
All right, mark your words. Like I said, don't ask me to disclose information regarding this GM's identity, as I will not do that. The second question from this GM, he said, I believe this is directed towards you, Dominic. He said, second, in the future, is he going to remain more humble so when he takes L's, he won't look as foolish?
Well, in the future, knock on wood, CMC and Kareem and Gronk come back healthy, I don't see me taking too many more L's. And you know me, win, lose, or draw, I'm always going to talk my shit. And it is what it is.
Absolutely. Actually, this GM did have a third question. If you don't mind sticking around for this, he wants to know, he said, is he proud to have me as his father? What?
My publisher told me not to answer this question, so I will respectfully decline.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is week 7 weekly recap. I'll talk to you guys next week. Good luck, and we'll see
It was
you
a
soon.
pleasure.
Go ahead.
We got breaking news. Jason Lovepog acquires DeAndre Hopkins, and Two Cocks One Mouth acquires Terry McLaurin. Also,
I might veto that one.
Insider information that I was told not to reveal the identity of, but from what I can understand is that Alvin Kamara is most definitely on the trading block. Interesting things happening. Hope you gentlemen have a great week. Good luck to everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Stay
It was
tuned.
a pleasure, gentlemen.
Week 8 is going to be a movie.